everybody, and welcome back to another ASMR conspiracy theories video here on the channel. Yes, this week we're going back to what I think we do best and what I think are our most popular videos with you, the audience, and that is of course our conspiracy theory videos and our history videos. So today, conspiracies, and Thursday we've got finally another history video. I'm really going to get into a much better rhythm and upload them a lot more frequently than I have been. Now I'm sort of back for a prolonged period of time kind of thing. So yeah, you've got that to look forward to. The topic on Thursday is a pretty informative one, as I like to think all of the history videos are, and it has been requested, so yes, stay tuned for that on Thursday. But today, as you can tell by the title, we are concerned with the Bermuda Triangle. I believe this might have been mentioned or requested absolutely ages ago, so I figured it's, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle has been around for a long time, so I figured, let's give it a video, let's go through it. So how it's going to work is I have a little introduction to what the Bermuda Triangle is, and then I have six sort of bullet pointed-ish theories over what exactly is responsible for the Bermuda Triangle, like disappearances and all that, like what the theories are that occurs there, what goes down there. And then after that, we're going to take a little look at like a lot of the disappearances that have gone on. I've just picked out a few little details just to sort of give you an idea. We should probably start with that, but the order I've got it in my thing, I'm not going back. So yeah, we're just going to end with some real life incidents, disappearances, tragedies, etc. And it is quite weird, but yeah, I think that's enough of an introduction. Let's get into some conspiracy theories about the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, so the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, a patch of ocean which has supposedly caused the demise of countless ships and planes that have passed through it, has puzzled scientists for years. The Triangle is an area of the North Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda to the north, Puerto Rico to the south, and Florida to the west. An average of 4 planes and 20 boats are said to vanish in the zone every year, leaving no trace behind. As the Daily Mail says, from subsea pyramids to hexagonal clouds and alien bases, scientists and conspiracy theorists alike have drummed up every imaginable scenario over the years to explain the mysterious disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. However, one scientist has suggested a new theory that may solve the mystery once and for all: rogue waves. Here are the 6 theories behind the science of the Bermuda Triangle. So, theory 1, as just mentioned, rogue waves. And rogue waves are basically like extreme storm waves. According to the Channel 5 documentary, The Bermuda Triangle Enigma, scientists now believe conditions in that area are just right for massive rogue waves, and have used simulators to demonstrate how these could put ships at risk. There are storms to the south and north which come together, said University of Southampton oceanographer Simon Boxall, and if there are additional ones from Florida, it can be a potentially deadly formation of rogue waves. The Huffington Post reports that rogue waves of this type of wave could reach 100 feet tall, which would be on par with the largest wave ever recorded, a 100-foot tsunami triggered by an earthquake and landslide in Alaska's Lituya Bay in 1958. Yeah, I mean that sounds scientifically plausible and correct, so maybe it is that, but I like to think it's aliens, but we'll get onto that. So, theory number 2, magnetic forces causing compass malfunctions. The Bermuda Triangle is one of 2 places on Earth where compasses point to true north, brackets, the geographic North Pole, says how stuff works. Some theories have suggested that the agonic line, the point where the magnetic and true north are perfectly aligned, passes through the Bermuda Triangle, resulting in a magnetic phenomenon which could explain cases where pilots and ship captains claimed their compasses ceased to work properly, causing them to veer off course. The problem with this theory is that early 18th century scientists discovered that the agonic line shifts each year. While it did pass through the Bermuda Triangle at one point, it now goes through the Gulf of Mexico instead. I'm not sure when this article was written, so it's probably moved elsewhere again. Theory number 3. Methane bubbles. A series of huge craters, not content creators, we're talking big craters, discovered on the seabed around the coast of Norway in 2016, may also give scientists vital information in solving the mystery. The craters are up to half a mile wide and are 150 feet deep, and are believed to have been formed by bubbles of largely methane gas leaking from deposits of oil and gas buried deep in the sea floor. Once these gases reach a critical mass before bursting to the surface, they can cause large eruptions. Now we get into the far more interesting explanations for what the Bermuda Triangle is. Number 4, Atlantis. One of the more outlandish conspiracy theories centres around the Bermuda Triangle actually being the location of the mythical lost city of Atlantis. The Independent recounts one blog poster who explained, when Atlantis was destroyed, it sank to the very bottom of the ocean. While the ruined temples now play host to multitudinous underwater creatures, great word that, multitudinous. The great Atlantean fire crystals that once provided so much of the tremendous power and energy that was found in Atlantis still exist. So these crystals that powered the city of Atlantis are what's causing these disappearances, according to this theory. I mean, that's almost a theory in itself, the Atlantis. Was the city of Atlantis real? Does it still exist now? Where is it? Maybe I'm going to write that down in my plans, actually, because that's a pretty interesting one. Anyways, moving on. Number 5. Aliens. Aliens have cropped up a lot in our previous conspiracy theories, so check that out if you're interested. They're all in a lovely playlist for you all, which I'll link in the description. So, aliens. The Sun explains that some writers have blamed UFOs for the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle, and that they believe that aliens use the triangle as a portal to travel to and from our planet. Now we're talking. The area is like a gathering station where they capture people, ships and aircraft to conduct research. So it's basically a big net for aliens, for their experiments. To be honest, it seems pretty plausible. And then theory number 6 is the most boring one out of them all. There's no mystery. Last year, Australian scientist Carl Krushelnicki claimed that the high number of disappearances cannot be explained by aliens or Atlantis, or even by the more plausible theories involving rogue waves. Instead, he suggests that the mystery is nothing more than a perfect mix of human error, bad weather and a high concentration of ships in that area. It is close to the equator, near a wealthy part of the world, America. Therefore, you have a lot of traffic, he told The Independent last year. According to Lloyd's of London and the US Coast Guard, the number that go missing in the Bermuda Triangle is the same as anywhere in the world on a percentage basis. Right, I'd like to see the numbers for that, because that sort of argument and point segues nicely into the next part of the video, which is going through some actual cases of disappearances and stuff. And I mean, maybe it is just because the Bermuda Triangle is so famous that, we focus more on when there's disappearances and stuff, but if you go literally on incidents surrounding the Bermuda Triangle Wikipedia page, there's so many on there, and I invite you to go and have a look for yourself. yourselves. But anyways, I've picked out one incident we're going to go through now, and then I'm going to list a few others. But this was the earliest recorded flight incident involving the Bermuda Triangle, I believe anyway, or as was on the website I was looking at. But yeah, this was called Flight 19. I've got to hold my phone like this now apparently. So the Bermuda Triangle, or Devil's Triangle as it is also called, is a vast three-sided area of the Atlantic Ocean bordered by Bermuda, Puerto Rico and Florida. We know this already. Although this area can be very beautiful, it can also be treacherous for travellers. Over the years, it has been responsible for the loss of many people, boats and aircraft in mysterious circumstances. There have been past incidents reporting the loss of navigation and control systems around the area, affecting aircraft and shipping. The loss of Flight 19 from NAS Fort Lauderdale, Florida, was one of the many incidents of an aircraft gone missing. On the 5th of December 1945, at 14:10 hours, Flight 19 took off from NAS Fort Lauderdale, Florida on a training mission. The leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, was a qualified flight instructor, and the flight was comprised of 5 DBM Avenger aircraft with a total of 14 crew. The training mission consisted of flying east for 56 miles to Hens and Chicken Shoals, south of Grand Bahamas, to conduct a practice low-level bombing before heading 67 miles further east, 73 miles north, then 120 miles back to base. That's a lot of numbers, I apologise. The first part of the mission went without incident, and they conducted their bombing mission at Hens and Chicken Shoals at 14:30 hours. At 14:40 hours, they reformed and headed east towards Great Stirrup Cay, which was 67 miles further east and 113 miles east of Florida. At 15:10 hours, they headed in a northwesterly direction. 15:45 hours, Lieutenant Robert Cox, a senior flight instructor who was flying in the vicinity of Fort Lauderdale and was joining up with a squadron of students, heard Flight 19 over the radio, and it sounded like they were having difficulties. Lieutenant Taylor informed Lieutenant Cox that both his compasses were out and that he was lost. He said he was trying to get back to Fort Lauderdale and that he believed he was now over the Florida Keys but didn't know how to get back to base. Lieutenant Cox asked what their present altitude was so he could come south to meet them, but Lieutenant Taylor said, "I know where I am at now. I'm at 2,300 feet. Don't come after me." Lieutenant Taylor was convinced that he was over the Florida Keys heading north into the Gulf of Mexico. After flying north for about an hour, he turned east, which he believed would take them to Florida and back to base. Fuel was now getting low, and he decided to continue east until they sighted land or had to ditch in the sea. Radio communication with Flight 19 became fainter until nothing more was heard from them. A full-scale search was launched which lasted until December 10th, 1945, and which covered all possible areas where Flight 19 could have ditched, but nothing was ever found. They seem to have vanished off the face of the earth. A Martin Marine search plane with a crew of 13, which took off to take part in the search, also went missing. No trace of the plane or its crew was ever found. Wow, I mean that is weird. That was a bit of a story time there, and yeah, this talks about some of the explanations for it. But one of the beliefs is that the Martin Marine search aircraft that went missing actually exploded 23 minutes after takeoff, and this was apparently witnessed by several people. And this says several of the crew members of Flight 19 informed Lieutenant Taylor that after they were flying north, they should head in a westerly direction and not east, which which is where Lieutenant Taylor led them, and they turned west. Then they would have headed back to Florida, but due to the crew's military discipline, they followed their leader. Oh, so really, was it just Lieutenant Taylor's incompetence as a leader that caused them to go missing somewhere out at sea? But yeah, interesting, and there's loads of other incidents, and there I decided to tell sort of like the story of like the earliest recorded one. But if we take a look here, May 15, 2017, a private MU-2B aircraft was at 24,000 feet when it vanished from radar and radio contact with air traffic controllers in Miami. Plane wreckage was found later. June 20th, 2005, a Piper PA-23 disappeared between Treasure Cay Island, Bahamas and Fort Pierce in Florida. There were 3 people on board. And in February 23rd, 2017, the Turkish Airlines flight TK-183 was forced to change its direction from Havana, Cuba to Washington Dulles Airport after some mechanical and electrical problems occurred over the triangle. And it's not just planes that are affected, of course, it is ships. Way back in 1814, the USS Wasp, last known position was the Caribbean, was lost at sea with 140 people on board. And it says in brackets, possibly lost in a storm. And in 2020, so very recent, a 29-foot blue and white Mako cuddly cabin vessel with 20 on board was last publicly seen during departure on December 28th, 2020. And in 2015, in late July, 2 14-year-old boys went on a fishing trip in their 19-foot boat. Despite the 15,000 square nautical mile wide search by the Coast Guard, the pair's boat was found a year later off the coast of Bermuda, but the boys were never seen again. So it really is interesting. There obviously is something dodgy going on in Bermuda with the magnetism and whatnot, because there's too many incidents where compasses and all technology is affected. What do I think? It's probably aliens, isn't it? Like, let's face it, with what's gone down in 2021, I think the most likely thing that's going to happen now is aliens will reveal themselves. Now, in all seriousness, I have no idea. Do let me know down below what you think is the explanation for the Bermuda Triangle. But I mean, realistically, it's probably nothing, right? It's probably the boring one that there's no mystery whatsoever. But I'll let you guys decide down in the comments. Do let me know what you think. Also, let me know what conspiracy theories you'd like us to cover next. That does end this video for us, guys. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and until the next video,